I have worked night security for 11 years. Warehouses, office buildings, parking garages. I have seen things that made me uncomfortable. Homeless people sneaking in for warmth. Teenagers breaking in on a dare. Once, a man having a mental breakdown in a stairwell at 3 a.m. I have seen all of it. But nothing prepared me for Eastgate Mall. It was January 2021. Eastgate Mall in Cincinnati, Ohio had been closed for 8 months. COVID had shut it down. Most stores had already packed up and left. The owners hired our security company to do overnight watches, make sure no one broke in. No vandalism, no squatters. Simple job, easy money. That's what I thought. My shift started at 10 p.m. I signed in at the security desk near the main entrance. The mall was enormous, 3 floors, over 200 stores, all empty, all dark. The only lights were the emergency exit signs, casting everything in a dull red glow. My job was simple. Sit at the security desk, watch the cameras, do a walk every 2 hours. There were 42 cameras covering the entire mall. Every corridor, every store entrance, every stairwell. I made my first walk at 10:30 p.m. 3 floors, complete silence. Empty stores with empty shelves. Mannequins still standing in dark windows. The kind of silence that feels heavy, like the building itself is holding its breath. I got back to the security desk at 11:15 p.m., made coffee, sat down, started watching the monitors. Everything was normal until 2:17 a.m. Camera 23, 3rd floor, east wing, outside a closed clothing store. A figure, walking slowly down the corridor. I sat up straight, leaned toward the monitor. The figure was tall, wearing dark clothing, hood up, walking with its head down. I grabbed my radio and called out, "Security, who is on the 3rd floor?" Silence. I watched the figure walk to the end of the corridor and turn the corner, disappearing from camera 23. I switched to camera 24, the next corridor. Empty. I switched to camera 25. Empty. Camera 26. Camera 27. Camera 28. All empty. The figure had turned that corner and vanished into a corridor with no exits, no stairwells, no doors, nowhere to go. I told myself it was a glitch, camera distortion, old building, old cameras. I made my second walk at 12:30 a.m., 3rd floor first, east wing, every corridor. Empty, every single one. All doors locked, all store gates down. No sign of anyone. I got back to the desk at 1:15 a.m., sat down, picked up my coffee, and looked at the monitors. Camera 23 again. The same figure, same corridor, same slow walk. But this time, it wasn't walking away from the camera. It was walking toward it, slowly, head still down, getting closer and closer, until it stopped, directly underneath the camera, and looked up. I could not see its face. The hood was too deep, the corridor too dark, but I could see its eyes, catching the light, looking directly into the camera. For exactly 30 seconds, it stood there, staring. Then it reached up and covered the camera lens with its hand. Camera 23 went black. I called my supervisor immediately, told him what I saw. He told me to call the police and stay at the desk. Do not do a walk. Do not leave the security room. I locked the security room door and watched the remaining 41 cameras. For 20 minutes, nothing. Every corridor empty, every floor clear. Then, camera 31 went black. Then camera 19. Then camera 7. One by one, the cameras were going dark. Someone was moving through that mall, faster than should be possible, covering every camera. By the time police arrived, 38 of the 42 cameras were dark. Police searched the entire mall, every floor, every store, every stairwell, every bathroom. Nothing. No person. No sign of forced entry. Every door locked from the inside. But on camera 23, the one that had gone dark first. Forensics found something. A handprint on the lens. They took a print, ran it through the database. It matched a man named Dennis Carver, 47 years old, former mall employee. He had worked at Eastgate Mall for 19 years, in the maintenance department. Dennis Carver had been reported missing 3 years earlier. His last known location, Eastgate Mall. Investigators went back through the mall's history, pulled maintenance records, floor plans, employee files, and found something that had never been made public. Eastgate Mall had a maintenance tunnel system running underneath the entire building, used for electrical work, plumbing, HVAC systems. The tunnels connected every floor through hidden access panels inside the walls of the mall. Dennis Carver, as head of maintenance, had known every inch of those tunnels. When investigators entered the tunnel system, they found evidence of long-term habitation: food, water, clothing, blankets, battery-powered lights, a mattress. Dennis Carver had never gone missing. He had simply never left. He had been living inside the walls of that mall for 3 years, coming out at night, walking the empty corridors, in the dark, alone. They found him 4 days later, deep in the tunnel system, sitting quietly in the dark. When officers asked him why he had lived there for 3 years, he looked up and said, "This is my home. It has always been my home." I never went back to Eastgate Mall. I quit security work 2 weeks later. But what stayed with me, what still keeps me up at night, is not the figure on the camera, not the handprint on the lens. It's what investigators found on the wall, deep inside the maintenance tunnel, written in black marker, a list of names. Every security guard who had ever worked a night shift at Eastgate Mall, going back 3 years. Every single one, with notes next to each name. What time they arrived, what time they did their walks, what they ate, what they drank, how long they stayed at the desk before getting scared. My name was at the bottom of the list, with only 2 words written next to it. He stayed. If you ever work a night shift alone, in a big empty building, and something feels wrong, trust that feeling. Because sometimes the building is not as empty as you think. Sleep well. And if stories like this keep you up at night, you are not alone. Subscribe for more horror stories every week. New story, new nightmare. See you in the dark.